The glass shattered against the bar top like a gunshot in Hunter's skull. Whiskey sprang across the scarred wood in a sticky arc that caught the neon glow from the Budweiser sign flickering overhead. "Fuck you, Dad," he muttered to the empty stool beside him, the words slurring out thicker than the bourbon burning his throat. But it wasn't his father he was seeing, it was the ghost of every rejection. Every sidelong glance at the office that whispered faggot without saying it. His hand shot out, trembling, brushing the warm knuckles of the man next to him, a stranger with eyes like smoked quartz. And in that electric graze, Hunter felt the world tilt, the bar's humid haze parting just enough to reveal a lifeline he didn't know he was drowning for. File 1. Hunter's fingers lingered a beat too long on that stranger's skin. Rough from what? Calluses of a life unpolished? Or just the grit of a long day in the city that never sleeps? New York chewed you up and spat you out? But in this dive off Bleecker Street, buried in the village where the ghosts of Stonewall still lingered like cigarette smoke, Hunter was just another queer kid from Ohio pretending he belonged. He'd come here after the email from HR. The one that landed in his inbox at 4:57 p.m. Sharp, corporate restructuring announcement. Effective immediately. No details. Just a promise of a town hall tomorrow. But Hunter knew the drill. Layoffs loomed like storm clouds over Midtown. And at 28, with his graphic design gig at Apex Innovations hanging by a thread, he was the expendable one. The one who'd spent too many late nights tweaking logos for clients who never cared, nursing crushes on straight colleagues who slapped his back a little too hard. The bar was a relic, peeling vinyl stools. A jukebox crooning Springsteen like it was still 85. And a bartender named Frankie who poured doubles without asking because he could spot a broken heart from across the room. Hunter slumped over his third old-fashioned, the cherry bobbing like a drowned buoy. And that's when the stranger slid onto the stool beside him. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a jawline that could cut glass and salt and pepper hair cropped close. Military style. He ordered a Macallan neat, voice low and gravelly, like he'd seen too many boardrooms and not enough sunrises. Hunter didn't mean to touch him. It was the laugh, his own, bitter and barking out at some half-remembered joke from a podcast about corporate vampires sucking the soul out of millennials. The stranger chuckled too, a rumble that vibrated through the air between them. And Hunter's hand, fumbling for his glass, found the man's instead. "Sorry," Hunter breathed, heat flooding his cheeks as he yanked back. But the stranger didn't flinch. Instead, those quartz eyes locked on, steady and unblinking, like he was appraising a pitch deck. "No harm," the man said, his voice carrying the faint drawl of somewhere south, Atlanta? Charleston, smoothed over by years in the glass towers of Manhattan. He extended his hand properly this time, palm upturned. "Elias." Elias Hawthorne. Hunter stared at it, the veins mapping blue rivers under tanned skin, and something twisted in his gut, a spark, forbidden and fierce. He clasped it, from the shake lingering into something that felt dangerously like a caress. Hunter. Just Hunter. No last name. Because why bother? In bars like this, names were placeholders, identities fluid as the liquor flowing. For rather, Hunter spilled. It poured out of him like the whiskey, the dead-end job. The apartment in Bushwick where the Roaches threw better parties than he did. The ex-boyfriend who'd ghosted him after Pride last year with a text that read this was fun. But I'm going straight edge. Literally. Elias listened, nursing his scotch. nodding in all the right places. He didn't pry, didn't offer platitudes. Just presence, solid and unyielding, like the oak bar they leaned against. Hunter found himself tracing the lines of Elias's face with his eyes, the faint scar above his left eyebrow, the way his lips quirked when he smiled, revealing teeth straight as a picket fence. Good. He was gorgeous in that understated way, not pretty boy model, but rugged, like a Hemingway hero who'd traded bullfights for mergers. You ever feel like you're just waiting? Hunter asked, voice cracking on the edge of vulnerability. The bar had thinned out, last call looming, the jukebox now whining Tom Waits about misfits and rain. Elias tilted his head, considering. Every damn day. But waiting for what? Hunter shrugged, the motion pulling his shirt taut across his chest. Something real. Someone who sees you. Not the mask. Elias's gaze dropped, then rose again, slower this time, taking in Hunter's disheveled hair. The flush on his neck. The way his fingers drummed a nervous rhythm on the bar. I see you, he said simply, and it landed like a gut punch, stealing Hunter's breath. They stumbled out into the November chill, the village streets slick with fallen leaves and the promise of winter. Elias's hand found the small of Hunter's back as they navigated the uneven sidewalk. A guide more than a claim, but it ignited something primal. Hunter's pulse thrummed in his ears, drowning out the distant wail of sirens. At the corner of Christopher and Hudson, under the sodium glow of a street lamp, Elias stopped, turning Hunter to face him. You all right to get home? Elias asked, but his thumb brushed Hunter's jaw, feather-light, and the question hung unanswered. Hunter swallowed, the city spinning lazy circles around them. Not really. You. Elias's laugh was soft, almost boyish. Never. And then he leaned in, closing the gap, his mouth claiming Hunter's with a hunger that tasted of scotch and secrets. The kiss was fire, desperate, devouring. Hunter's hands fisted in Elias's wool coat, pulling him closer, the world narrowing to the scrape of stubble, the heat of breath mingling. Elias tasted like regret and redemption, his tongue coaxing Hunter open with a patience that belied the urgency in his grip. They broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, the cold air a shock against heated skin. My place, Hunter whispered. No room for doubt. Elias nodded, hailing a cab with a whistle that cut through the night like a promise. The ride to Bushwick was a blur of stolen touches, Elias's fingers interlacing with Hunter's over the sticky vinyl seat, his free hand tracing circles on Hunter's thigh that sent shivers racing up his spine. Hunter's apartment was a shoebox, exposed brick walls scarred from water damage. A bed that doubled as a couch. Posters of Basquiat and Keith Haring peeling at the edges. But Elias didn't notice. Or if he did, he didn't care. He kicked the door shut behind them, backing Hunter against it with a growl that vibrated through both their chests. Clothes shed in a frantic trail, Hunter's shirt buttons popping like gunfire, Elias's belt buckle clinking to the floor. Skin on skin. Hunter marveled at the man above him, broad chest dusted with dark hair tapering to a trail that disappeared into low-slung jeans, muscles honed not from gyms but from life, real, lived in strength. Elias's hands were everywhere, mapping Hunter's body like uncharted territory, the dip of his collarbone, the curve of his hip, the sensitive hollow behind his knee. Hunter arched into it, moans spilling unfiltered, the vulnerability of it all crashing over him like a wave. "You're beautiful," Elias murmured against Hunter's throat, teeth grazing the pulse point that fluttered wild. "So fucking real." Hunter's response was a gasp, fingers tangling in Elias's hair as he guided him lower. They moved together in a rhythm born of instinct, bodies sinking like they'd been waiting for this collision their whole lives. Elias was gentle at first, reverent, but the dam broke, thrusts deepening, nails digging crescents into backs, the headboard thumping a staccato against the thin wall. Hunter cried out, the release shattering him, Elias following with a guttural curse that echoed in the dim room. They lay tangled in sweat-damp sheets, the city humming outside like a lullaby. Elias's arm draped heavy over Hunter's waist, breath steady against his neck. "Stay," Hunter whispered into the dark, heart pounding with a hope he hadn't felt in years. Elias pressed a kiss to his shoulder. "Try and make me leave." Dawn crept in gray and unforgiving, coffee brewing in Hunter's ancient percolator as they sat at the rickety kitchen table, legs brushing under it. Elias looked different in daylight, still handsome, but the lines around his eyes deeper, a weariness settling in like fog off the East River. Then, fragments of a life, grew up in Savannah, clawed his way through Wharton on scholarships and spite, built a career in tech acquisitions that left him rich but hollow. "Power's a lonely game," he said, staring into his mug. "You win battles, but the war's always waiting." Hunter nodded, sipping his own brew, black and bitter. "Tell me about it." "Apex is a shark tank. My designs keep the lights on, but I'm just chum." Elias's eyes sharpened, just a flicker. "Apex Innovations? Midtown, right? The app dev firm." "Yeah," Hunter said. "Wary now." "You know it." The pause. "Too long." Elias set his mug down, smile tight. "Heard of it." "Small world." They dressed in companionable silence, the morning light slanting through blinds like bars. At the door, Elias cupped Hunter's face, thumb stroking his cheekbone. "This wasn't just the booze. Hunter." "Call me." He slipped a card into Hunter's palm, simple, embossed, Elias Hawthorne, Esq. No title, no firm, just a number. Hunter watched him go, the elevator dinging like a heartbeat. He flipped the card over, tracing the raised letters, a grin splitting his face. For the first time in months, the future didn't feel like a noose. The town hall was at 10 a.m. In the Apex conference room, a glass box on the 42nd floor overlooking the Hudson's gray churn. Hunter arrived early, nursing a hangover headache and replaying the night in loops that made his skin tingle. He smoothed his tie, navy, the one that made him feel like he belonged, and claimed a seat in the back, sketching absent doodles on his notepad, abstract swirls that looked suspiciously like Elias's profile. The room filled with murmurs, the scent of stale donuts and anxiety thick as the fog outside. Then the doors swung open, and in walked the interim CEO, flanked by suits, but leading them was a man Hunter knew bone deep. Elias. In a charcoal Tom Ford suit that hugged his frame like sin, hair slicked back, exuding the kind of quiet command that silenced rooms. Their eyes met across the sea of heads, Elias's widening a fraction before stealing. Hunter's stomach plummeted, the world narrowing to that card burning a hole in his pocket. Visit Apex Innovations. The announcement boomed from the speakers. Polite applause rippling. But Hunter heard nothing over the roar in his ears. Betrayal? Not yet. Just the sharp sting of irony. The universe's cruel punchline. Elias, his Elias, cleared his throat at the podium, voice steady as he outlined visions of growth, synergy, innovation. Words that meant layoffs, mergers, the axe falling on necks like Hunter's. But beneath the boardroom polish, Hunter caught the flicker, a glance his way, loaded with apology and something darker, hungrier. The meeting dragged, metrics and timelines blurring into white noise. When ended, Hunter bolted for the stairwell, heart jackhammering, but Elias's voice cut through. Hunter. A word. In the empty hallway, glass walls reflecting their fractured selves, Elias closed the distance. I didn't know, he said, low and urgent. Last night, I swear. I had no idea you worked here. Hunter laughed. Sharp and hollow. Bullshit. You lit up when I mentioned Apex. Elias winced, hand raking through his hair. Guilty. But not like that. I was intrigued. Then it hit me. He stepped closer, heat radiating. This changes nothing. Us. Hunter spat, backing up until the wall met his spine. You're my boss now. The guy who might fire me tomorrow. This is a disaster. Elias's eyes darkened, pinning him. Then let's make it our disaster. And he kissed him again, fierce and claiming, right there in the sterile corridor where security cams blinked red. The affair ignited like dry tinder in a drought, all-consuming and reckless. For weeks, they danced the dangerous waltz, stolen moments in Elias's corner office after hours. The city skyline a glittering witness to their unraveling. Hunter would linger at his desk, pretending to finalize mock-ups, until the floor emptied and Elias's text buzzed, doors open. Lock it. Inside. The space was all leather and steel, minimalist, like the man himself, but it softened under Hunter's touch. Elias would pull him onto the desk, papers scattering like confetti, their bodies colliding with the urgency of forbidden fruit. You're killing me, Elias would groan, hands framing Hunter's face as he rode him slow and deep, the plate glass window cool against Hunter's back. Hunter's responses were gasps and pleas, nails raking Elias's shoulders, marking territory he knew he couldn't claim. In those fevered highs, the power imbalance dissolved, Elias vulnerable, whispering need you like a prayer, his executive armor stripped bare. Hunter saw the cracks then, the boy from Savannah who'd buried his queerness under layers of ambition, coming out only in law school flings that ended in regret. I built walls, Elias confessed one night, spent and sated on the office couch, Hunter's head pillowed on his chest. Forgot how to tear them down. Hunter traced the tattoos hidden under Elias's cuff, a faded anchor from his Navy ROTC days, inked in a haze of post-grad rebellion. Then let me be the wrecking ball. It was bravado, laced with fear. Because outside these walls, reality gnawed, whispers in the break room about the new blood upstairs. Hunter's designs suddenly greenlit with notes in Elias's precise script. Favoritism? Nepotism? The rumors simmered. But Hunter shoved them down, chasing the high of Elias's laugh, the way he'd murmur mine against Hunter's temple. Thanksgiving loomed. A hollow ritual for Hunter, his family back in Dayton a phone call away. Dad's voice gruff with unspoken disapproval since the phase Hunter had outgrown at 22. Elias changed that. "Come to mine," he said over takeout lo mein in Hunter's kitchen. Chopsticks dangling from his fingers. No turkey. No bullshit. Just us. Elias's penthouse in Tribeca was worlds away from Bushwick's grit, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the harbor. A kitchen island of veined marble where they burned the pie but laughed until tears streamed. They fucked on the bearskin rug by the fireplace, slow this time. Exploratory. Elias mapping every inch of Hunter with lips and tongue until he begged for mercy. Afterward, wrapped in a throw blanket that smelled of cedar and smoke, they talked dreams. Elias wanted to pivot Apex toward ethical AI. Something human-centered, not the soul-sucking algorithms he'd acquired before. "You get it," he said, fingers combing Hunter's hair. "Your designs, they breathe life into code." Hunter flushed, heart swelling. Flattery from the boss man? Dangerous. Elias's grin turned wicked. "Only if you say yes to Paris. Company retreat. But we'll sneak away. Eiffel Tower at midnight? The works. Was a fantasy. Intoxicating." Hunter said yes, sealing it with a kiss that tasted like possibility. But December brought the frost, first in the form of bored emails. Terse and demanding, streamline creative division. Q1 targets aggressive. Elias's face hardened over breakfasts. The Sunday New York Times spread like a battlefield map. "It's business," he'd say. But his eyes avoided Hunter's, guilt etching deeper lines. The betrayal brewed subtle. A slow poison. It started with a late-night call, Elias pacing Hunter's living room. Voice pitched low into his phone. "No, Bridget. We can't afford sentiment. Cut the fat." Hunter pretended sleep, but the words lodged like shrapnel. Fat. His team? The juniors he'd mentored. The ones with student loans and side hustles? The next morning, Elias was tender, brewing espresso with a kiss to Hunter's nape. But the fracture had spiderwebbed. Christmas Eve. Snow blanketing the city in hush. They holed up at Elias's with a tree strung in white lights and a playlist of Dean Martin croons. Hunter wore the sweater Elias had gifted, cashmere. Soft as sin, and they made love by the twinkling glow. Bodies sinking in perfect, heartbreaking harmony. "I love you," Hunter breathed in the afterglow. The words slipping free like a confession. Elias stilled, then pulled him closer, voice muffled against Hunter's hair. "Good. Hunter. You have no idea." But he didn't say it back. Not then. Not in the champagne haze of New Year's at a rooftop party where Elias schmoozed donors. His hand possessive on Hunter's lower back but his smiles for the room. Hunter nursed a flute of Youve, watching from the shadows, the skyline exploding in fireworks that mirrored the ache in his chest. "Say it." He willed silently. "Make me believe this isn't temporary." January hit like a freight train. The layoffs dropped on a Monday. Emails pinging like bullets, regrettably, due to restructuring. Hunter's team halved overnight, Sarah with her killer illustrations. The intern with dreams bigger than his portfolio shown the door. Hunter stormed Elias's office at lunch, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the blinds. "What the fuck?" he hissed, voice raw. "You gutted us." "My people." Elias rose, face ashen. It wasn't my call. The board. Bullshit. Hunter's fists clenched. Knuckles white. You signed off. I saw the memo. Elias crossed to him, hands outstretched. Hunter. Please. I fought for as many as I could. Your position's safe. That's what matters. Safe. Hunter barked a laugh. Bitter as bile. For what? To be your dirty secret? The office fuck who sketches while you play God. Elias recoiled, eyes flashing hurt. That's not. Isn't it? Hunter shoved the printed layoff list between them, names blurring through hot tears. You said ethical. Human. This is carnage. Silence stretched, taut as a wire. Elias's jaw worked, then softened. I know. And I hate it. But this is the game. Climb or get crushed. Then crush me, Hunter whispered, stepping back. Because I can't watch you become the monster. The door clicking shut like a guillotine. The elevator ride down was agony. Reflections mocking him, eyes red-rimmed. Ty Askew. Back at his desk, the remnants of his team huddled like survivors, sharing tissues and was. Hunter buried himself in revisions, but his lines bled jagged, emotions bleeding onto the page. That night, Elias showed up at Bushwick with pizza and a bottle of Hunter's favorite rye. Rain-slicked and desperate. Don't shut me out, he pleaded on the stoop, water dripping from his lashes. I fucked up. Let me fix it. Hunter let him in. Because weakness or love or both. And they fell into bed like combatants seeking truce. It was rougher than before, teeth and grips. Hunter pinning Elias down. Reclaiming power in thrusts that bordered on punishment. Elias took it, gasping yes and more. His submission a balm to Hunter's rage. As they lay staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, Elias turned to him. I'm trying, he said. Voice cracked. For you. For us. The Paris trip, it's real. We'll figure this out. Hunter wanted to believe. Traced the scar on Elias's brow. Promise. Promise. Elias kissed his knuckles. Solemn. You're the best part of me. Hunter. Don't let go. February thawed the ice. Or so Hunter told himself. Elias pulled strings, reassignments for the laid-off. Bonuses slipped under the table, and Hunter's designs led a new campaign. Buzz building in industry rags. Apex's fresh vision. They called it. Crediting the dynamic leadership. Privately, Elias credited Hunter. Late nights turning into collaborations where ideas flowed as freely as touches. Valentine's fell on a Friday. Elias whisking him to Gramercy for oysters and candlelight. A velvet box waiting under the linen. A signet ring. Silver with an engraved anchor. To remind you, Elias said, sliding it on Hunter's finger. You're my harbor. Hunter's throat tightened. Tears pricking. I love you. This time, Elias echoed it. Soft and sure, I love you too. The words unlocked something. A floodgate. They made it home barely. Tearing at clothes in the cab. The driver whistling approval. But it was worship, Elias on his knees. Hunter's hands in his hair. The ring glinting as pleasure crested. For the first time, Hunter felt anchored. But March whispered warnings. A board meeting leaked via anonymous Slack, Hawthorne's distractions. Rumors of impropriety. Elias grew distant, calls cut short, his smile strained. Hunter confronted him in the office bathroom. Mirrors reflecting their ghosts. Is it me? Hunter asked. Voice small. Am I the distraction? Elias cupped his face. Fierce. Never. It's them, the vultures circling. But I'll handle it. He did. With a ruthlessness that chilled Hunter, the leaker fired. NDAs reinforced like iron. Protection, Elias called it. But Hunter saw the cost, Elias's eyes hollowing. Sleep evading him in fits. The Paris trip was their salvation. Or so they hoped. Apex's retreat was a week of panels and schmoozing. But Elias carved out nights for them, sane walks under stars, croissants at dawn in Montmartre, a hotel suite with a balcony overlooking the Louvre. They made love with the Eiffel Tower winking in the distance, bodies painted gold by city lights. You're my forever, Elias murmured one night, tracing Hunter's spine as rain pattered the windows. No matter what. Hunter believed him. Heartful. Until the call at 3 a.m., Elias's phone buzzing from the nightstand. Screen lighting his face in blue. He answered hushed. Turning away, yes. Understood. The merger, I'll push it through. Hunter feigned sleep. But the pieces clicked, the rival firm, the one Elias had eyed for months. Apex would swallow it whole. But whispers said the price was blood, more cuts. Deeper this time. Including creative. Dawn broke gray. Elias packing with mechanical efficiency. Back to reality, he sighed, kissing Hunter's forehead. But this? It's the dream I fight for. On the flight home, Hunter sketched merger fallout, flows of staff, red lines slashing dreams. Elias glanced over, pride flickering. Brilliant. You'll lead the integration. Hunter's stomach twisted. But, while others sank, New York welcomed them with sleet and summons. A board dinner that night, Elias vanishing into a tuxedoed abyss. Hunter waited up, rye warming his veins, until 2 a.m. When Elias stumbled in, Tylus, scotch on his breath. Missed you, Hunter slurred, pulling him close. Elias kissed him sloppy, hands roaming, but his eyes were distant. Love you, he mumbled, collapsing into bed. The lie settled heavy. Hunter lay awake, the ring cold on his finger. Pearl bloomed treacherous, cherry blossoms mocking the rot beneath. The merger announcement hit like thunder. Apex acquires Vanguard Tech. Synergies unprecedented. Stock ticked up. Champagne popped in the bullpen. But Hunter saw the guillotine, Vanguard's creative team. Robust and innovative, would supplant Apex's remnants. Including him. Elias called him into the office pre-dawn. The skyline still velvet dark. It's optics, he explained. Pacing in rolled sleeves. Coffee steaming untouched. The board wants fresh blood. But it's temporary. 6 months. Tops, you'll be back. Elevated. Hunter leaned against the desk. Arms crossed to hide the tremor. Temporary. Like us. The words hung. Venomous. Elias stopped. Face crumpling. Don't. This is survival. For the company. For your legacy? Hunter finished. Voice rising. While I pack boxes, fuck that. Elias. You promised ethical. I am. Elias slammed a fist on the blotter. Veins bulging. You think I like this? Choosing between you and drowning us all? Choose me then. Hunter's whisper cracked the air. Elias deflated, crossing to pull him into an embrace that smelled of cologne and desperation. I am. Good. Hunter. You're everything. Trust me. Hunter did. Or tried. Melting into the kiss that followed, salty with unshed tears. Bodies pressing urgent against the desk. It was reclamation. Elias dropping to his knees in the pre-dawn hush. Mouth hot and pleading. Hunter came undone. Fingers white-knuckled in Elias's hair. But the afterglow soured quick. When do I start packing? Elias's silence was answer enough. The demotion landed soft. A lateral move to consulting. Remote work from a cubicle farm in Jersey. Hunter cleared his desk in an afternoon. Colleagues murmuring sympathies that stung like slaps. Sarah? Rehired on probation. Hugged him fierce. This stinks. Hawthorns playing favorites backward. He laughed it off. But the seed rooted, favorites. The whispers amplified, sightings of Elias with a Vanguard exec. A sharp-suited guy named Theo with cheekbones like blades and a laugh that carried. Networking? Elias called it over hurried lunches. But his hand didn't linger on Hunter's knee anymore. Nights fractured. Hunter's Bushwick haven turned tomb. Sketches piling like unanswered prayers. Elias came less. Citing deadlines. But Hunter smelled the lie, cigar smoke on his collars. The kind from private clubs where deals were sealed in backrooms. One night, post-coital haze lifting, Hunter rolled toward him. Tell me about Theo. Elias tensed. Then chuckled forced. Jealous? He's straight as an arrow. But just business. Hunter searched his eyes. Finding shadows. Swear. Swear. Elias kissed his ring finger. The anchor glinting accusation. May's heat wave baked the city. Tempers flaring with the asphalt. Hunter threw himself into freelance. Pixels his only lovers. But Elias haunted the edges, texts at odd hours. Thinking of you with a heart emoji that felt scripted. The Paris ring weighed heavier. A shackle disguised as talisman. The breaking point cracked on a Friday. Hunter scrolling Slack on his laptop in a WeWork purgatory. When the photo popped, Elias and Theo. Arms slung casual at a gala. Elias's hand low on Theo's back, the mirror of his own touches. Caption, sealing the deal. Apex rising. Rage boiled. Hunter's vision tunneling. He kept to Trebek? Key Elias had given him in February burning in his fist. The penthouse was dim. Jazz murmuring from speakers. Elias in sweats on the couch. Glass in hand. You lying sack of shit, Hunter snarled. Hurling the printout, he'd stopped for Kinko's on the way. Elias surged up. Face paling. Hunter, wait. While you pour your new boy toy. Hunter's voice broke. Tears hot. Was I just the appetizer? The queer experiment before you go back to the closet? No. Elias grabbed his arms. Grip bruising. Theo's nothing. Aprop. The board, they suspect. I had to sell the straight image. Hunter wrenched free. Chest heaving. Sell? Like you sold me out? This whole thing? Paris. The ring, was it all a merger too? Elias's eyes glistened. Voice raw. I love you. Hunter, you're the only real thing in this farce. But the stakes. Stakes. Hunter laughed. Manic. Your career over my heart? Fuck your stakes. He yanked the ring off. Hurling it across the room, it skittered under the couch like a spent bullet. Elias dropped to his knees, scrambling after it, desperation etching his face. Please. Don't. I can't lose you. You already did. Hunter turned for the door. But Elias's pleas stopped him cold. Sit. Fight with me. We can. Goodbye. Mr. Hawthorne. The door slammed, echoing final. June sweltered. Hunter crashing on Sarah's couch in Williamsburg. Nights blurred in gin and grinder ghosts that tasted like ash. He blocked Elias's number. But the man haunted dreams of salt stubble kisses, waking sweat-soaked and hollow. Freelance gigs trickled, enough for rent, but the fire in his designs dimmed, colors muted as his mood. Pecs thrived, headlines crowing Hawthorne's masterstroke. Hunter avoided Midtown. But fate's cruel, a coffee run colliding with Theo. All smiles and schmooze. Heard you got the short end, Theo said. Latte in hand. Elias speaks highly. Real talent. Hunter's jaw clenched. Save it. Theo leaned in. Voice oily. He's a shark. Swims alone. You were fun. But the punch landed before thought. Hunter's fist connecting with Theo's smug jaw. Coffee exploding in a caffeinated storm. Security hauled him out. No charges, Theo's too polished for scandal, but the bruise on Hunter's knuckles matched the one blooming inside. Elias called from a blocked number that night. Voicemail trembling, saw the report. Jesus. Hunter. Come home. Please. Delete. Fuck. Repeat. Independence Day boomed. Fireworks over the East River painting Hunter's insomnia in bursts. Sarah dragged him to a queer block party in the village. Bodies pulsing to Charlie XCX under rainbow flags. Fides? Sweat slick and free. A twink's hands on his hips grinding close. But eyes scanned the crowd, seeking quartz smoke. He found Elias at the edges, alone in the throng. Suit rumpled, gaze locked like a beacon. Time stuttered, Hunter wove through, heart thundering. You shouldn't be here, Hunter said, voice lost in bass. Couldn't stay away. Elias stepped close. Rain from an earlier shower dampening his shirt, clinging translucent. I fucked up. Royally. Theo was deflection, the board sniffing. And I panicked. Pushed you away to protect. Everything. Protect yourself, Hunter corrected. Ache flaring. Elias nodded. Broken. Yeah. Coward move. But losing you? It's killing me slower. Furious. Peasant. Fingers brushing Hunter's. Forgive me? Or at least hate me to my face. Hunter's resolve cracked. The touch electric as that first night. I hate how much I love you. Elias pulled him into the alley shadows. Away from lights. Kissing him like atonement, deep. Devouring. Tears salting their lips. Then let's burn it down, Elias gasped. The job. The merger, fuck it. I'll quit. We start over. You and me. Hunter searched his eyes, finding truth stripped bare. You mean it? Every word. Elias's hands framed his face. thumbs wiping tears. You're my north, Hunter. Always were. They tumbled back to Elias's. Hunter's key still worked, bodies frantic on the foyer floor. Clothes shed in worship. It was healing. Thrusts measured and profound. Elias murmuring sorry and love like litany. Climax shattered them unified. Aftershocks rippling as they clung. Breath sinking. Dawn found them on the balcony. Coffee steaming. City stirring below. Resignation tomorrow, Elias vowed. Ring reclaimed on Hunter's finger. We'll go west, San Francisco? Maybe. Tech scenes queer-friendly. You design. I consult. Real life. Hunter leaned into him. Hope tentative. No more games. No more. Elias kissed his temple. Just us. July unfurled golden. Elias's exit a media blip. Hawthorne steps down amid success. The board scrambled. But he walked free. Severance fat. Pride intact. Hunter quit freelancing cold. The pair plotting over diner pancakes, a loft in the Castro. Hunter's portfolio pitching indie startups. Elias mentoring startups with heart. But August whispered doubts. Elias's phone buzzed with headhunters. Offers obscene. Just listening, he'd say. But his eyes lit with old fire. One night, post-dinner at a Soho bistro, trial run of coupledom, Elias's ex surfaced, a text from an old flame. Miss you. Drinks? Hunter glimpsed it. Jealousy flaring. Who's that? Casual. But edged. Elias pocketed quick. Nobody. Water under. The lie festered. Small but sharp. Hunter pushed. But Elias deflected. Past is past. Focus on us. September crested crisis. A Vanguard holdover. Bitter from the merger. Leaked emails, innocent threads. But damning optics, Hunter's input prioritized. The scandal hit blogs, CO's bedroom boardroom. Paparazzi swarmed Elias's building. Reporters sniffing for dirt. Hunter holed up. Phone silenced. But Elias paced like a caged wolf. We deny, he declared over takeout. Face gaunt. Stonewall it. Stonewall. Hunter exploded. Cartons splintering in his grip. I'm not your albatross. This is your mess, your closet dragging us under. Elias whirled. Eyes wild. My mess? You touched me first. Remember? This, us, is mutual destruction. The slap echoed, Hunter's palm cracking Elias's cheek. Shock rippling both faces. Fuck you, Hunter choked. Storming out into the humid night. He crashed at Sarah's again. Voicemail flooding, Elias's pleas devolving to silence. Days blurred. Hunter interviewing at boutique firms. The ring pawned for rent, anchor sunk. October's leaves turned blood red, mirroring the hemorrhage. Elias's trial offer came, a C-suite gig in Seattle. Solo. Clean break. The headhunter emailed. Seeking Hunter by accident? Or malice? Confrontation brewed at O'Malley's. Full circle. Hunter nursed the soda water. The bars hum a dirge. When Elias slid in, thinner. Shadows under eyes like bruises. Congrats on Seattle, Hunter said. Voice flat. Elias winced. You saw. Hard not to. Hunter's fingers drummed the bar. Ghosting where they'd first met. Go. Be the shark. I don't want it. Elias's hand covered his. Trembling. I want you. All or nothing. Hunter pulled away. Ache visceral. Nothing's left. You chose power every time. Elias's voice broke. I chose wrong. Let me. No. Understood. Said he. Goodbye. Elias. The door swung shut, sealing the wound. November stripped the trees bare. Winter's breath icing the Hudson as Hunter rebuilt from ash. The new gig at a non-profit design co-op in Brooklyn suited him, campaigns for queer youth shelters. Logos pulsing with color and hope. No mergers. No masks, just lines that mattered. Sarah became roommate for life. Their nights filled with bad rom-coms and better wine. Her hugs mending fractures. Elias's shadow lingered in headlines. Hawthorne takes helm at Cascade Ventures. Seattle suited him. Photos showing a man polished anew. Smiles practiced. Hunter scrolled past, thumb hovering on delete. But the pull remained, a phantom limb. Thanksgiving. He flew home to Dayton. The house sagging under Midwest quiet. Dad clapped his back awkward. Mom's turkey dry but her eyes soft. Proud of you, kiddo. City hasn't broken you yet. No questions on the ring's absence. The ex unmentioned. Progress. Bittersweet. Back in Brooklyn. A package waited, Elias's anchor cufflinks. Note scrawled, keep these. Or burn them. Either way. No, I carry you. Hunter pocketed them. December danced with flurries. The village aglow in wreaths and wrecks. Hunter volunteered at the center, mentoring a kid named Jamie, 17. Out and terrified. Sketches raw with pain. How do you know it's real? Jamie asked one night. Charcoals smudging his fingers. Hunter smiled faint, thinking of Quart's eyes. When it hurts this good, that's how. Christmas Eve. O'Malley's called, Frankie. Gravel-voiced, your ghost is here. Asking for you. Hunter's pulse spiked. Cab fare burned to Bleecker. The bar was festive. Tinsel fraying. Springsteen crooning Thunder Road. Elias at their spot. Older in the lamplight, lines etched permanent, but eyes alive. Hunter. Breathless. Like prayer. Elias. Said he. Surprising himself. They talked halting, Seattle's rain mirroring regrets. Brooklyn's grit forging steel. No apologies. Just truths. Elias's therapy unearthed Savannah scars. The closet's chokehold. Hunter's growth in vulnerability. Love not a chain but a choice. I sold the penthouse, Elias said. Fingers tracing bar scars. Freelancing now. Queer startups. Pro bono. Learning to build. Not conquer. Hunter nodded. Throw tight. Good. You were always more than the suit. Elias's hand inched close. Hovering. And you? Happy. Getting there. Hunter's fingers met his. Deliberate. Warm sparked. Tentative. The jukebox shifted to waits. Rain pattering windows. Dance. Elias asked. Voice off. In this dive? Hunter laughed. Rising. Why not? They swayed clumsy. Bodies remembering, chest to chest. Breath sinking. Elias's cheek brushed Hunter's. Whisper hot, I love you. Still. Always. Hunter pulled back. Searching. Truth shone clear. And shut up. I love you too. But slow. No mergers. Elias grinned. Boyish. Deal. Coffee tomorrow? Neutral ground. Dinner, Hunter countered. My turf, said. Snow-dusted shoulders as they parted. No kiss. Just promise. Hunter walked home. City lights haloed. The ache transmuted to glow. Betrayal's scar remained, but healed, lesson in boundaries. Love's cost. January bloomed second chances. Dinners stretched to weekends. Elias commuting till a Brooklyn sublet sealed proximity. They navigated minefields, therapy joint sessions. Unpacking power's poison, boundaries etched firm. Elias's ambition leashed to partnership. Spring greened tentative. Hunter's designs blooming in galleries, queer narratives. Raw and radiant. Elias's ventures thrived ethical, crediting Hunter's insight in toasts. Pride weekend. They marched hand in hand. Rainbow flags whipping. Jamie cheering from the float. One night, post-march haze in the loft they'd claimed, exposed beams. Hunter's art walls. Elias knelt by the bed. Box velvet. Not a ring, but keys, to this. To us. If you'll have me. Hunter pulled him up, kissing fierce. I will. But equal. Always. They made love deliberate. Bodies mapping forgiveness, slow explorations. Laughter mingling moans. Climax crested shared. Afterglow whispering futures. Years folded like origami, collaborations birthed a studio. Hunter's name beside Elias's in credits. Weddings came, Jamie's. Tearful vows under oaks, their own. Quiet in City Hall. Rings twin anchors engraved mutual. The bar faded myth. But anniversaries brought toasts there. Frankie winking, knew it from the touch. Hunter. Gray threading temples. Would squeeze Elias's hand. Court's eyes still home. Betrayal's echo? A scar. Humanistic reminder. Love demands courage. Not conquest. In America's churn, New York's pulse. Queer resilience, they thrived. Not perfect, but profoundly real. And in quiet moments, Hunter sketched them, two men, hands clasped, against skyline storms. Forever sketch, ever evolving.